Thank you to those of you who are with us live. And for those of you that watch this as a recording, we appreciate you taking time out of your day to learn more about AdventHealth. And today we have the opportunity to highlight an incredible facility, which will be AdventHealth Altamonte Springs. So my name is Sky Kellogg, and I will be your host for today's event. My goal is to guide this conversation and prompt questions to our panelists who will be introduced to you shortly. So you as an attendee can learn a little bit more about AdventHealth and possibly joining us in the future. And we want you to be prepared to interview with us soon as well. We have a specialty hiring event that we want to invite those of you who are joining us today that are experienced nurses in endo, surgery techs, scrub techs, or CT techs. We have a special hiring event that will be held specifically for you all at AdventHealth Altamonte Springs, and that address will be shared with you in the chat, but that will be taking place January 31st. So we have an exclusive hiring event just for you all. Again, those who are experienced nurses, endo, surgery techs, scrub techs, and CT techs. So looking forward to those specific roles being highlighted and interviewed on, again, January 31st. That will be happening from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. I also want to highlight for those of you that have joined our walk-in interviews, those walk-in interviews are scheduled every Wednesday from 10 to 12, currently taking place at the HR offices that are located behind AdventHealth Altamonte Springs Hospital. So more details will be shared throughout the conversation in this chat as well. So be on the lookout for that. But this unique opportunity allows you to meet our team members in person and explore the range of exciting career possibilities that are available to you at AdventHealth Altamonte Springs. So without further ado, it is now my pleasure to introduce our panelists for today. So panelists, if you could share your title, a brief overview of your current role, and how long you have been with AdventHealth. And I will go ahead and start with Josh.
Hi, my name is Joshua. I'm the director of the emergency departments for AdventHealth in Seminole County. And I've been with AdventHealth for 15 years. And so my job is really to oversee the clinical operations of our emergency departments.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Josh. And then I will pass it over to Nicole.
Thank you, Sky. Hi, I'm Nicole Crocker. I am the Chief Nursing Officer here at Altamonte Springs. I have been with AdventHealth for 29 years, 3 years in this role, and I am responsible for overseeing and leading our clinical teams, nursing staff in particular, ensuring that the quality of care that we are delivering is excellent.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Nicole, for being here. And Amy.
Hi, everybody. My name is Amy Keller. I have been with AdventHealth for 30 years. My role here is the Chief Operating Officer, but truly I say it's my job to remove the barriers so beautiful people like you can do your daily work.
Thank you so much, Amy. And Kevin.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kevin Sorensen. I'm Director of Operations here at Altamonte. I've been with the organization for 15 years. 6 of those have been here at the Altamonte campus. And I've had the blessing to be able to move into a different role and stay at the same campus. So operations is newer to me. And so my role and responsibility, similar to Amy, is how do I support kind of our ancillary services, nutritional, EVS, transportation, some other departments that are non-clinical to help them do their best work and help us extend the healing ministry in Seminole County.
Thank you, Kevin. And finally, Javier.
Thank you. Javier Perez, Director of Facilities here for the Altamonte campus. I manage engineering department that services the hospital, Lake Mary ER, and Oviedo ER. I also ensure operational compliance with the campus utilities, building infrastructure, as well as regulatory life safety functions. And I have been blessed working here at the Altamonte campus for 10 years now.
Wonderful. Thank you all so much again for being here today. And we are so excited to hear from you all and to learn more about you and your journey at AdventHealth. But I just want to share a reminder with our attendees, all looks like almost 160 of you that are here with us today. Thank you so much for taking time to learn from our panelists. But I want to let you know that your mics have been placed on mute. So we highly encourage you to engage by sharing your comments and questions in the chat. So please utilize that chat function to submit any comments or questions you may have during the conversation. Unfortunately, I do see that some of you have raised your hands. We're not able to communicate with you that way. So just use the chat and we'll be happy to answer any questions you have along the way. But we value your participation and look forward to a very interactive session. So to start, I want to direct this question to Amy. If you would, Amy, just give us a brief overview of AdventHealth Altamonte Springs and just paint the picture for those that maybe who are joining us today that aren't in the community.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, guys. So the hospital itself has been here for 50 years. We just celebrated our 50th birthday last year. We are a 393-bed hospital, top rated Leapfrog A. We pride ourselves on tertiary level care, so we are a very strong cancer facility. We have a large emergency department, and we have very high volume for surgery as well as outpatient surgery and endoscopy. So fully vetted hospital with lots of great assets to it. We also have a wonderful maternal fetal OB baby place with lots of exciting work going on there. And I'm sure Nicole will talk about that a little bit later.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that overview, Amy. I appreciate it. And this was something that I did want to highlight as one of our panelists mentioned. Our mission is to extend the healing ministry of Christ. So I want to talk about how whole person care really is incorporated in how we take care of our patients and how we express and live out that mission. So Nicole, what does it look like to provide whole person care for our patients?
Yeah, absolutely, Sky. So at AdventHealth, our commitment to whole person care is a holistic approach. It's a promise to our consumers, team members, and community that we are going to address the mind, body, and spirit. It goes beyond the medical needs of our consumer, connecting with patients and the team member on more of a personal level, ensuring that their physical, mental, and spiritual well-being is prioritized in a patient-centered approach. I like to call these mission moments. And so some examples of that would be, one day a security officer, we had a patient that was acting a little aggressively, not sure what was going on with them. And we happened to see that the security officer was praying with the patient. That was a mission moment where he was able to calm the patient down. And that was not in his so-called job responsibility. But he went above and beyond. That is what we call treating someone the whole person care. In addition to that, we had an ICU patient that was here, unfortunately, and they were going to miss their wedding. So our team came together and they pulled off a little wedding in the ICU room. Again, extending the healing ministry of Christ, again, getting past that medical need and getting to what else can we do to help our patients, our team members, something just to brighten their day.
Nicole, those are beautiful examples of how you all have gone out of your way to go above and beyond for patient experience and to really extend that healing ministry of Christ and to show love to others in a unique way that many hospital organizations are not able to do. So I appreciate you sharing that with our guests today. So when we think about AdventHealth, we talked about some aspects to AdventHealth Altamonte Springs that set AdventHealth apart from other hospitals. But Josh, what kind of things set this particular campus apart from other hospitals in the area?
So I actually love this question because I've been in Altamonte for 15 years. Altamonte is a campus that I think the best way to describe it is kind of like a big family. All the people on this panel, some of them I've worked with for almost the entire time I've been at Altamonte, and others, are newer to our campus. But either way, it really is like a family atmosphere. And it's about how we go about our work and how we help each other. Our work is so much focused on patients, but from a team perspective, it's really about how do we help each other. You can easily pick up the phone and call Javier and be like, hey man, something's broken. Can you help me fix it? Right. I can call Kevin if it's an operations thing and he's willing to help. Like no matter what it is, everybody's always willing to help and resolve any issue, to pitch in. And I think that's what creates really that team environment, that family environment. And I think that sets the hospital especially, for Altamont, apart from other hospitals.
When we think about the other facilities within AdventHealth and what sets you all apart compared to each other, would anyone mind talking a little bit about our size and location and how that assists in setting us apart as well, outside of the culture that Josh described?
Sure, I can chime in, Sky. I think Altamont has really established itself as the most trusted healthcare system in Seminole County. And I think a lot of what Nicole talked about in terms of the team across the clinical and non-clinical departments have really seen it as their mission and their calling to support each other. And that really permeates beyond the walls of the facility. And so I think the community knows and looks forward to and expects that from us. And I think that's helped us reach a level of success within the healthcare space in Seminole County. I do also think that there are some unique differentiators around Seminole County as a whole. It's a very densely populated community. There's over 500,000 people that live here. We've got great community partnerships with our local law enforcement and first responders. And it's really because Seminole County, I think, every county is special, but there's something unique about Seminole County and how everybody bands together to say, how do we make this the best place to live and work and raise a family? You think about school systems. All schools in Seminole County are A-rated, which is very rare. We've got some of the lowest crime rates that are out there. And so it really just kind of all comes together to say we've got a really great, safe place to live, raise a family, and we've got what we believe is the highest quality healthcare that one can receive within the county. So I think that all kind of plays into what you're asking.
And I think just to add, if I could, Sky, Kevin, thank you. And Josh, that was beautiful description. I think too, for Altamont, because it is a 393 bed licensed bed facility, it's big enough to meet all of your needs here in your community, where it feels like a huge hospital, but it's the family feeling. When you walk down the hall and people know you by your first name, it's an amazing sense of belonging. And that's what we try to create here. And I agree, we have the great partnerships and relationships with our community partners. I think that's very important because when we pick up the phone and call, we know each other by name and we're willing to lean in and help each other. So that's, it's wonderful.
Thank you all so much. And speaking of community and partners, I want to talk a little bit more about how AdventHealth Altamonte Springs has ingrained itself in the community. And if we can dive in a little deeper to those details. And Kevin, would you mind sharing more about what that looks like for you all?
Sure, yeah. So as I was saying, the community as a whole has looked to AdventHealth to kind of help lead both within the walls of the hospital, but also has sought help and support to say, hey, how can we do more beyond the walls of the hospital? So we've been blessed to have the opportunities to get involved with some really important and special relationships to address community needs. Kids House is one of those. So when you think of childhood abuse and things that are really unfortunate that are happening, the city or the county identified an opportunity and said, hey, AdventHealth, could you help us stand up a service? So Kids House is an example of something that we've really leaned into and said, we want to be part of the solution for that. We also have a Hope and Healing Center, which is a special and unique project that's been underway for about 2 years that's really intended to address the opioid crisis that's happening right now and saying, hi, how do you help those who are really struggling with that to have an outlet and a place to help them truly recover and get back to where they ultimately want to be is healthy and not having to be relying on that. We also have some strategic partnerships with the Sharing Center to help out with food insecurity, homelessness, job training, SALT, Rescue Outreach Mission, Habitat for Humanity. There's a lot of things that we get involved with. And we're blessed to have the opportunity to be able to do that, because really when you talk about extending the healing ministry, whole person care, we feel very strongly that a lot of that happens outside of the walls of the hospital. And so it's very important to our mission here in the community.
Absolutely. And we really have the ability to do those things because we are a nonprofit healthcare organization. I think that's really important to highlight because that does set us apart from other hospitals and other organizations throughout the country. I know people may be joining us from all over today, so I definitely want to highlight that. And if anyone is willing to speak on that, I would love if you would be willing to just share with our listeners and our guests today as to why it is important to highlight that we're a nonprofit and how that impacts how we operate as an organization. And maybe if you've come from a for-profit before, what those differences are like. Yeah, go ahead, Amy.
The organization is faith-based, right? So not-for-profit. I unfortunately am not going to be able to give good information about working for the other because Advent is who I've only been with. So I would say, working for a not-for-profit, probably one of the biggest strengths is our ability to take what profits we make as an organization and we put that back into the organization to make sure that we stay with smart technology, that our nursing team and our clinical team have state-of-the-art equipment to take care of patients. Working with the latest technology, so surgeons want to bring us a new robot into the market. We really try to stay up on technology and making sure that everybody has the proper tools. It's not a profit for the leadership or the owners of the organization. It's a profit for really the frontline team, so they have everything they need to take care of patients.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Amy, for sharing that and really clarifying that for our listeners today. And I know we have a range of tenure here on the panel, which is incredible and speaks volumes to the dedication that you all have to supporting AdventHealth in your community. But I want to direct this question to Javier. And Javier, would you mind sharing what has kept you at AdventHealth Altamonte Springs?
Absolutely. So what has kept me here at Altamont is, as mentioned, the family-like unity and the trust that is extended with all those I work with. So the staff from various departments, they'll reach out and are very comfortable in communicating any opportunities that they encounter and inquire if things can be changed or modified for different ideas. And they'll review for, they'll hit me up for feedback on, hey, I reached out to this. Can we look at modifying a process or a look or an area and function in a specific area? And knowing that they'll have supportive review by leadership is great. So that's what promotes for them to present more options and opportunities. And I've seen that through my tenure here, that every voice is heard, every topic is reviewed, and it really applies in various applications, just throughout the campus, throughout the building, throughout processes, and different initiatives. And this really promotes a trustworthy, transparent environment that I've continually seen and experienced personally here at Altamont.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And would anyone else like to speak to that as well? What's kept you here at AdventHealth Altamonte Springs? Kevin, go ahead.
Oh, sure. I'll make it brief. So this is actually my second stint at Altamont. So I've worked here in the past, probably from 2011 to 2013, and had the opportunity to come back, and I jumped at the chance because a lot of what's been described. But I'd also think that it's important for any of the viewers or listeners out there to know that growing from within is really important to us too. So I think one of the things that may not be readily known about us is that, there's a lot of job opportunities to get in the door, but there's a lot of growth opportunities too. When you think about, we're a tertiary care facility, we're a larger campus that still has a community and a home-like feel to it. Makes it really special from the fact that you can come in and you can start at a certain point, but we have a number of employees that start off in a certain department, whether it's in transportation, EVS, or something within that space, and they say, hey, I really am intrigued by sterile processing or surgical tech. I've gone through this educational program and now I'm certified to do something else. those opportunities are created here. And so I do think it's important for anyone who's looking to say, hey, I don't want to just have a job, I want to have a career. Well, this really is a great place to be able to say that you may know what that is today, but your eyes may be opened up to all the possibilities once you get in and say, wow, this is really great, because now I can like do something a little bit different. And you'll never get to a place where it's like, okay, this is mundane now, because there's always new challenges, new things you can learn. And I think we're a learning organization where those opportunities are presented to all the employees. That's why I'm here, is because I'm continuing to grow. Every year it's something new and something different that challenges me. So I love it.
Absolutely. I agree with that myself, Kevin, and my role over the last 4 years has changed every several months, and I'm very grateful for that. And I have I have seen that firsthand, but it allows you to become your best self. And that's our goal here at AdventHealth, is when you're with us to become your best self so you can live out our mission and your own personal mission each day. So thank you for that. And I know we're focusing on careers today and prepping you for our hiring events and what's coming down the road here at AdventHealth Altamonte Springs, because we are really looking forward to having you join our family here in the near future. So one of the roles, like I mentioned, that we're really looking for, like all of our AdventHealth facilities, would be experienced nurses. So I really want to talk a little bit about nursing for the moment. And Nicole, if you could just share with us how you got into nursing and how the mission of AdventHealth has impacted your career as a whole.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Sky. You know, I am a second generation nurse. My mother was a nurse, still is actually practicing, which is great 43 years later at AdventHealth. Be mindful of that. I got into nursing by watching my parents. They both are in the medical field. And, you know, I knew there was something that was a calling from God, that I wanted to care for people. And by watching my mother, going to work with my mother, it's like that saying, you had me at hello. AdventHealth back then, Florida Hospital, had me at hello. I was able to watch and see the interactions, again, to see that family approach and really just wanting that growth. And, you know, again, I watched my mother. I saw how she impacted others' lives. I saw how she was the light in people's worst moments of darkness. And I wanted to be just like her. And there it went. I was 18 and I was hired at AdventHealth, and I have never looked back. They have greatly impacted me. It aligned with their mission is my mission. And that's putting the patient at every decision that we make. And also the employee. You have to have employees that are engaged and happy and feel whole. It's inclusive. So this is how it's impacted my career. As you can see, I started as a unit health secretary, which was one of the hardest jobs I think I have ever had, trying to do dictation for physicians and understand reading these orders. And then you fast forward today and we're on Epic. It's an amazing organization, always looking to be innovative, making sure that we're growing professionally, inspiring. I had amazing and still have amazing mentors. So that's how it's impacted me. Again, unit secretary to patient care tech, to a nurse, graduate nurse. AdventHealth, this organization has some of the best education for graduate nurses and even nurses who've been out, like our nurses who have stepped away from the acute care. You can transition back. We have education programs for that. And then again, just kept growing. So again, as Kevin mentioned, it's that growth. And from bedside nurse to charge nurse, A&M nurse manager, et cetera, to this position now. And it's, everyone believes in education opportunities. So again, the options are looking for ways for
Thank you so much, Nicole. I appreciate it. And I apologize for those who may be viewing now. There may be some connectivity issues, so bear with us as we continue to go through that. But Nicole, I appreciate you sharing your story and how your family and seeing your mother impacted your journey, and for really walking through the different steps that are available to you if you were interested in becoming becoming a nurse, going into nursing leadership, and just really mapping that out. And speaking of GNs and our nurse residency program, Josh is coming to us live from the Kia Center right now, if you're familiar with Orlando and in this area. And we are having a hiring event today that's taking place to bring in more nursing students into our organization. And Josh, if you could just speak about your journey as well and how our mission has impacted your nursing career. And then if you wouldn't mind just speaking on your passion for working with nursing students and bringing them into our organization.
Yeah, absolutely. And I apologize. There may be some background noise, but yeah. So, really, the thing that I find that's great about our organization, very much like Nicole was saying, is I came in as a tech, and we always have those people that kind of take you in under their wing, and that's really what it takes. You always need a really good mentor, right? You need people who want to help you grow. Kevin touched on that too, and so I started as a tech, and then as I finished school, I went through the residency program myself. So our emergency department nurse residency program, and it's a great program. I mean, it is really such a good way to come out of school as a GN and have the right training. Not all organizations have something like that. And so being able to have something to offer people that really sets them up for success is really, really important to us. And then, like Nicole, right? I grew in my leadership journey, and right now, I have 3 emergency departments, and it's so good to work with the GNs and our experienced nurses. We have such a wide array of people. I will say that, I think in some ways, yes, I have a special place in my heart. Like, I'm at the hiring event now, and I run into people in the hallways and trying to help them connect with positions in the hospital and connect them with leaders. It's really great to do that, to see the passion that they have to go and start their career. And really, it's our job as leaders in our organization to help, right? To really take their hand and help them and show them the way, to make the right connections for them so that we can do the same that people have done for us. We've had people help us grow, and it's really a passion of mine to help do that for others as well.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Josh. And I want to share with everyone in the chat as well to make sure that you check out our hiring events that are going on. I know, obviously, if you're watching this now, you probably don't have the chance to make it to that if you're a nursing student, but please know that we have lots of hiring events and expos coming up as a system, as well as the hiring event specifically happening at AdventHealth Altamonte Springs on the 31st. So that event is listed on this page and more. So be aware of that and keep that in mind as you consider joining AdventHealth. I also want to be able to touch on our non-clinical side of things. So Javier, if you could talk about how your area specifically facilitates growth, and how do you consider your part of the organization to be a learning organization?
Absolutely. Thank you, Sky. So with engineering, especially in hospitals and healthcare, it's one of the more complex compared to different businesses and structures of any maintenance or perspective of trade work that's out there today, from construction to general emergency repair. Here in facilities in healthcare, it's something that we really bring in at an entry position of what they're comfortable working with, whether it's a specific trade of electrical or plumbing or just basic repair on room elements. With that start out, we expand on all their knowledge throughout the entire facility. So even if they started with general small electronic repair, we expose them to larger industrial equipment, if you will, just for the elements of response and safety. And it gives them the option to, as Kevin spoke before, basic tiers that they can grow into over time and on a comfortable level. So they'll come in a level 1, and that might be, for example, 1 or 2 facets of the industry that they're comfortable working in. But over time, now they can be exposed to working in a different level that they've worked one-on-one with, because we're really just the right size, if you will, to do more one-on-one. And with one-on-one training, then they also evolve into certified trainings and certificates that we expose them to and give them avenues to really grow on their own. And also I'll do additional training depending on the position that they're aspiring for. So there's always, no 2 days are alike, and no trade ever becomes mundane, regardless of service. It's just everybody really becomes a jack of all, but on a different technique, just to make sure it's always safe and at the level of delivery and service that we're looking for, and a proactive level of equipment. Because what we do, we need to do without impacting our customers throughout the facility.
Thank you so much, Javier. And I think it's important to highlight that we have so many positions that are non-clinical. So if you are joining us today and you are wondering, how can I be a part of AdventHealth and I don't have any clinical experience or background, as Javier mentioned, there are so many roles just in engineering that would be available to you, and operations and human resources. And I've seen some questions in the chat about administrative and accounting. So yes, those positions do come up within AdventHealth. And we just dropped a link in the chat that you can sign up for job alerts. If you have a specific type of job that you're looking for and hoping to find an open spot within AdventHealth, please sign up for those, and you'll receive updates directly to your inbox of new positions as soon as they open. So we encourage you to do that and look through our jobs page to see what may be available. So I appreciate you sharing that, Javier, and really painting that picture of how much work and intentionality there is behind your process and training and investing in your team. And I know all of you do the same as well. So thank you for that. So we, again, speaking of GNs and hiring new nurses, I want to direct this question to Nicole. So what are some of the characteristics that GNs are lacking right out of school in the eyes of a nursing manager? And how do you combat this once they are a member of your team?
Yeah, that's a great question, Sky. Thank you for asking. So, today our new nurses may initially lack clinical experience, depending on the last couple of years as they've went to school. As we all know, we went through a pandemic. So it could have been, I missed some of my clinical experience. There are some critical thinking situations that could happen, but you learn that with time, right? So I don't necessarily think that they're lacking. It's just we have to have time to actually teach and the prioritization skills. So to address these clinical deficits, potentially, we provide personalized coaching, mentorship, and diverse clinical experiences for our students, and not one size fits all. So we might have a nurse that, she's really good at prioritization, but she needs a little bit more help in the critical thinking area. We try to tailor that plan to that person. And we want input too. What do you feel like you need help with? So we also partner with our physicians to provide educational moments for the nurses. For example, we have initiated roaming sims. So that's our simulation lab, but we take the simulation lab to you when you're on shift so that we can help you. If it's a chest tube, if it is as simple as I need to learn how to use this piece of equipment, we bring it to you to make it easy so that it's not you having to come in on your day off to do this. We also partner with our phlebotomist. So if a nurse says, I didn't get many chances to do phlebotomy draws or to start IVs, then we help. And again, we tailor that educational need to that person. We have a vascular access team that we'll have our new grads go with so they can learn how to start IVs. And more importantly, it's a just culture here. So we want our new grads, if they're feeling any moment of, I don't understand what happened, we always debrief. We take a moment to debrief after every situation so that we can call out the positives, we can learn from the opportunity so that we can make improvements. Because again, our goal is to provide excellent patient outcomes and the care and the patient experience. So I hope that helps answer it. But again, it's not anything that they're lacking. It's just you have to develop that, and that only comes with experience working with people.
No, that's perfect, Nicole. And that's really what I wanted to highlight is the the measures that you all take to ensure that our new nurses that are coming out into the field now feel comfortable and feel secure and know that they are taken care of. And you mentioned making it easy. So I did just want to highlight our service standards. That's a very important part of how we operate as an organization. So our 4 service standards are keep me safe, love me, make it easy, and own it. So you will hear those phrases mentioned. You will see them on walls, on posters. They will be a part of your orientation when you join us in the future. So I want you to be aware of those. Be keen on what those mean to us, and you will hear those phrases used throughout the conversation today and in the future too. But they're not just phrases; they are truly things that we live day in and day out. Whether you are helping a patient or you are working on the back end and non-patient facing, those are service standards that we all hold ourselves to. So I want to make sure that was highlighted so you all were aware, and again, could use that as insight to who we are as an organization and help prepare yourselves to interview with us on January 31st. So when we are looking overall at what our highest needs are within AdventHealth, I know some of those jobs have been mentioned at the beginning. So I'm just going to highlight those again for you all, where this specialty hiring event is going to be taking place again is AdventHealth Altamonte Springs. And we are looking for experienced nurses, surgery techs, scrub techs, endo and CT techs. Those are the specific team members that we would love to have join us soon. So if you are any of those and watching us right now, please be aware that those are high needs at AdventHealth Altamonte Springs, and we would love to interview you for those roles. Does anyone else want to highlight any high needs or just open positions that they have in their department right now that they would like to share with those that are watching? Feel free to.
Now, I would just add that the ancillary teams that we have on campus, because of the growth opportunities of people looking for different things, I'll tell you that I feel like we have people that are moving within interdepartment transfers, and so if anyone is interested in some of those positions, then please stop by, go to the link that you're going to send out, because there's always opportunities that are either readily available today or that will right talent that wants to on my end. Hope.
Thank you, Kevin. Yeah, I apologize. There may have been some disconnect there, so I apologize for any issues that you may have watching with our connection. But I did see a question in the chat about where we are supposed to go for the hiring event. So that address will be shared in the chat, as well as the link to register for that event. And we will be sending everyone who has registered for this event an email. And that email will have all the information in regards to our walk-in Wednesday opportunities, as well as the special hiring event that is taking place on January 31st. So those details will be shared in the chat and emailed to everyone after as well. But thank you, Kevin, as well, for highlighting the open positions in AdventHealth Altamonte Springs outside of the clinical roles that I just mentioned there as well. So moving on, when we are looking at operations and engineering, what types of positions fall into your department, Javier? And if you could just explain the typical shifts and qualifications so we can get an idea of what your area includes. I apologize. Javier, are you able to hear me now?
I'm getting you now. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes. Yep. You're good. I'm sorry, team. I think we just have some connection issues at our facility, so I apologize for that. But let me just restate that again. So Javier, I just want to talk a little bit more about the positions that fall into your department and the type of shifts and qualifications that our attendees should be aware of if they are going to apply.
Sure. Thanks. Yes. So the overall positions we have are HVAC, painting, basic construction, plumbing, electrical controls, and life safety systems. Now, these would be actual I'll call them branded positions, but we also have the starter level of that, which is what I was referring to before as a general maintenance mechanic or a jack of all trades. So you could start in if you knew some experience in any of these trades. We're very open to interviewing and reviewing candidates that have basic exposure to some of these trades, and they can come in as a general maintenance mechanic. And then again, with that, we will explore the strengths of the background that the candidate has, and they can continue growing down that path of specific trade, whether it was plumbing or controls or construction, but they will also, again, learn the expanded facets of the campus and different other trades. So very open to different levels of that experience and certifications. And for the shifts, we are 24/7. So our first shift is 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Second shift is 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. And third shift, 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. Again, 7 days a week. So that's currently we do have one AMT or maintenance mechanic, general mechanic open. So we'd definitely welcome any candidates with some of those prior experiences.
Thank you, Javier. And Kevin, did you want to highlight your side of things with operations and what some of those roles may look like, and how people can get started in the operations department of AdventHealth?
Yeah, I don't know how much you heard because we broke up, but I think you know, we're departments where there's opportunities today within transportation, environmental services, food and nutrition, and so anyone who's interested in those areas, certainly go to the website, see what's readily available, participate in our hiring events, because those are teams that are coming in, they're getting experience, they're growing within the department, they're transferring to other departments, and so it's a great way to get in if you want to have a career in an organization that invests in you to learn and grow beyond where you start at.
Thank you so much, Kevin. Yeah, I know we didn't get a chance to hear all that earlier, so thank you so much for sharing that with our listeners, because it's so important to know and consider the many different opportunities there are to find your first step within AdventHealth. And I want to touch on the importance of those roles. So those non-clinical roles, they impact everyone at the facility. So would you mind just explaining the importance of non-clinical roles to AdventHealth Altamonte Springs? This is open to anyone who would like to kick that off.
I would be happy to start that if I could. You know, I believe that the non-clinical roles here at AdventHealth Altamonte, they're crucial to our success. They form the roots that nourish the entire campus, allowing our clinical teams to focus on providing the excellent patient care. Truly, our ancillary teams contribute significantly to patient safety, cleanliness, nutrition. I cannot begin to tell you that we need them to be able to focus on patient care. So we're very appreciative. And I do want to highlight what Kevin mentioned. Even internally, if you start and you decide one day you want to move over into a clinical role, we internally any leader would be willing to talk and sort of mentor you through, is this a good fit for me? Do I want to do that? We do sort of internal job fairs to discuss that. And we've had many success stories where we've had EVS, transportation, that they've actually said, you know what, I want to go back and be a respiratory therapist. I want to go back and be a radiology tech. I want to go back and be a nurse or a patient care tech. And we've been able to help them sort of career map that and get them to their destination. And it's so amazing to watch people grow and get to the level where they want to be. So again, they're the root to everything that we do and the care that we provide.
And I would like to add, Sky, that, you know, I don't know if everybody can see, I actually took mine off, but we have these heart badges. And every heart badge that every employee of the organization has says, I care for you like whoever is most important in your life. And what that really means to me and to our team members is, when you think about our non-clinical teams, every patient interaction, every team interaction that they have, they're thinking about that person as if they were their closest person in their life. And so we see examples of that. Nicole mentioned the one about security, praying with the patient. I could give you a number of examples of our nutritional services team just truly hugging and praying and caring for a patient, trying to deliver clinical care to them, and going to get nurses to jump in and say, hey, a patient needs help. Our EVS employees, the same. I think they're vital because whole person care, it takes all of us across the departments, clinical, non-clinical, administrative. I've seen Amy wheeling patients to the lobby. It's something that all of us love to do when we can actually positively impact a patient or a family or a team member. And so I think we've got incredible team members in our non-clinical areas, and it's because that commitment to care for people like their most dear person in their life, it really means something to them, and they take it seriously. And I love it.
Yeah, I agree with you, Kevin. I appreciate you highlighting the heart badge because it's at the core of how we operate each day individually, and reminding ourselves on why we're here, and that we're called to treat others and love others, right, as if they were our family or our neighbors. So I appreciate you sharing that, and really just reiterating the fact that AdventHealth values all, whatever your background is, whatever role you're in, you are important because you are carrying out the overall mission. And we know that carrying out that mission is very difficult. Being in healthcare in general, no matter what role you're playing, can be challenging at times, and it can be difficult to keep morale high. So, Amy, would you mind just talking about some of the actions that your facility takes to keep the morale of your team high, and to keep them engaged and staying with AdventHealth?
Absolutely. I think, one, I would go back to what Kevin and Nicole and Javier have shared, Josh too. Part of the morale is being able to do what you love to do when you come to work, because you spend more than half your life here. So I think that's really important. But celebrating our teams and their successes is something really important to us. So we celebrate all works of life here, not just nursing, not just clinical, and not just, it is everybody, including our physicians, because they're an important part of what we do today. So we do a lot of safety awards, and I'll let Nicole talk a little bit about Safety Daisy B. But we do things like potlucks and celebrations of different cultures. That's very important to us. We pick a national day of the month, if you will, and celebrate that. I think National Popcorn Day is coming up on Friday, and so that's something that we are going to be doing. But we try to do a lot of fun things and integrate our night shift, our day shift, our weekends, so that everybody feels included. Something that's really important to this campus, it's a big celebration for us, is May the 4th be with you. We are Star Wars freaks here, so everybody dresses up in costumes, and we make a really big fun day of it. So it's a lot of fun. But Nicole, I would love for you to talk about our special awards that we do from a clinical side.
Sure, thanks, Amy. So as Amy was mentioning, we love to celebrate here at Altamont. We love us a good celebration, and we have our culture committee. We get the feedback from our teams that, we value their input. What is important to you? How would you feel appreciated? And the thing that we like to really highlight, again, as Amy mentioned, the Star Wars, it's really, I did want to tell you another mission moment, because I think it's important to say. So may the Force be with you with Star Wars. I wasn't, I'm going to disclose, I like Star Wars. I just didn't know a whole lot about it, but I did dress up. I was a good leader, and we all get in our little costumes, and one of our nurses called down, and everyone loves Star Wars, but she called down and knew that a patient, that was their favorite thing in the world was Star Wars. And she's like, can you please visit this patient? It would make this person's day. Because they were going through, they just learned about a diagnosis. And so we're like, absolutely. So everyone came together as leaders in the executive team, and we went up and surprised the patient, and it was the best moment in his life. He said it, not my words, but there was not a dry eye in the room, and that's what this campus is about. I think that's one thing. And again, AdventHealth as an organization does this, but these are the types of things that when you asked the question earlier, why do you stay? These are the reasons. And I'm doing it with the people that I adore. They're my family. And so I don't necessarily want to leave my family, and I have great opportunity here. And so we hope that if all of you were to join our team, you would feel the same way, and you can contribute to this greatness. But the Bee and Daisy Award that we would like to highlight, the Daisy Award is for the nurses. There's nominations made by patients. So that is very special. It feels like a very special award for them. And then the Bee Award is something that we started 2 years now. And it's our non-clinical role that helps support the nurse as they're delivering the care. So we make a big celebration about that because, again, these are peers, patients nominating, and it's just very special. And I think another thing is speak up for safety, as we were talking about earlier, a just culture. This organization is a high reliability organization to make sure that we are doing our very best to prevent any safety issues or learning from things so that we can create that safe environment, not only for our patient, but for our team members. And so we like every opportunity for our team members, clinical, non-clinical, it does not matter. If they speak up for safety, we like to acknowledge them because, again, you're helping us make our organization better. So thanks, Amy, for allowing me that opportunity.
Thank you all so much. And I know we only have a little bit of time left today, but it has been such a pleasure learning from you all and speaking with you all. And I hope that our attendees today have enjoyed it as well. But I want to jump to some of the questions that we had in the chat. So this one specifically is, I believe, for Amy and Nicole. So either one, could you elaborate on the program for experienced nurses which have taken a pause from hands-on care? This question was submitted by Diane. Would you mind speaking a little bit more to that, Nicole, and what that training is like and what you have available for those who maybe have taken a step back from hands-on care? And I believe we may have frozen, so I hope we can come back to you all shortly. Sorry about that.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Josh. You're still here.
I can speak to that
Okay.
a little bit. So,
Wonderful.
So if it's somebody who's been a nurse and they've stepped away from bedside for a little while and they're looking to come back, we do have training programs for those people. So there's certainly opportunity. So if they go online and they apply and they get connected with a recruiter, there's training programs for them if they're looking to get back at bedside.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Josh. I appreciate that. And then someone asked, if I am not able to attend the hiring event on the 31st, can I submit my application anyways? Yes, absolutely. Please, you can start submitting your applications right now. Right as we end this conversation, you are more than welcome to apply. But that hiring event is, again, happening the 31st from 9 to 1 at AdventHealth Altamonte Springs. But please still submit any application to any role that we've mentioned today that you're interested in, even if you're not able to attend that hiring event. If you are eligible for the role and selected, you will still be contacted for an interview, even if you can't attend that day. So thank you for that question. We had another question that was submitted, and it is in regards to the community initiatives. So someone is interested in community health initiatives through data analytics. Could you share any specific programs or projects that are aimed at enhancing the health and wellness of the community that you serve? I believe Kevin may have touched on this one a little bit earlier, so sorry if that's repetitive.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Are you asking us to answer that, Sky?
Yes. Yep. These are just the questions that have been submitted through the chat.
So we have entire departments that are focused on that. So yes, we have it. I'm just not sure that we have enough time for us to go into that. But yes, there is very large departments that focus on this. So there are lots of jobs in that area. Absolutely.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that, Amy. And another question is, do we hire LPNs at AdventHealth Altamonte Springs? Would anyone be able to speak to that?
We do.
Thank you,
Hire
Josh.
LPNs, inpatient, especially in the emergency department, we don't have them, but inpatient hires LPNs.
Perfect. And then I did see a question in regards to someone who currently holds their BMO within Florida. So there may be some roles that you are eligible for. So as looking at that overall, I know AdventHealth Medical Group typically has some positions as well that may include using the BMO. I know we don't have anyone from imaging on the call today, but just know that if you do have your BMO, there are positions available for you as long as you meet the other minimum qualifications as well.
Guy,
Yeah.
I apologize. I know Amy, myself, Kevin, I'm not sure about Javier, but we keep dropping off. We completely apologize for this. Not sure what's going on with the technology. That's the great thing about technology.
Yeah.
I know that there was some questions about our nurses who have been away from bedside, and thank you, Josh. I heard partial, but we do have programs for that. We have the transition to acute care, so we call that TTAC. And then we also have a program for our international nurses. So please, if there is any doubt, just apply and we can walk you through that. Again, we love to talk to all nurses, whether you've been at bedside or been away from bedside, because we're all valuable and we can see what track we can place you in. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Nicole, for reiterating that. And another question that I had in the chat was about non-clinical positions. They asked, you have EVS or positions working in food services in the cafeteria. I know due to signal and connection issues that may have been missed. So I just want to reiterate that we do. That is part of the AdventHealth job opportunities that we have mentioned in this conversation today. So please feel free to look through our jobs page for those as well. And then another question that we had from the chat was in regards to our hiring events and how often we have hiring events. We have hiring events as a system quite often. I shared the link in the chat a little bit earlier in this conversation, but we have a page that is dedicated solely to events, and those hiring events come up all the time. For those listening who maybe aren't familiar with AdventHealth, AdventHealth is located in 9 different states across the country. So even though we are highlighting AdventHealth Altamonte Springs today, we go as far west as Colorado, and we're in Illinois as well. So we are all over, not just in Florida. So we have hiring events to support all of those locations. So feel free to follow our events page. If you don't already follow us on our LinkedIn page or Life at AdventHealth on Instagram, we do share those events and keep everyone updated through Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. So feel free to connect with us on social to be able to get that information. And for those of you listening as well, we do have a podcast as well that has been rebooted through AdventHealth that talks about careers. So if you are interested in learning more about AdventHealth careers and hearing more from our team members like today, we do have that as well. You can find that on Apple, Spotify, Google, as well as YouTube. That is the Whole Career Podcast. So I did want to plug that for you all as well. If you are looking, exploring how to join AdventHealth, there are clinical and non-clinical interviews listed there that you can have as a resource. But I know we are at 2:00. So as of right now, I don't see any more questions that we haven't already highlighted through the conversation, but I know there are probably a lot more questions that you have, and we would love to be able to answer them again at our walk-in interviews or our hiring event on the 31st. So we will be emailing that information out to all who have attended today, as well as those who have not been able to join us. So that way you have that. And we would love to see you at AdventHealth Altamonte Springs very soon. But we appreciate your time. Thank you, panelists. Thank you, Amy, Nicole, Javier, Kevin, and Josh for your time today and representing AdventHealth. It is greatly appreciated.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you, everyone. Take care. And again, thank you for joining us. And we look forward to seeing you soon, and have a great rest of your day. Take care.